Mel Gibson has just unleashed a bombshell about Robert De Niro, and it's shaking up Hollywood. What did Mel say about De Niro's political rants and his career's sharp decline? Why is everyone suddenly questioning his acting abilities in his latest project? You won't believe how Mel called out Robert for his erratic behavior and revealed why studios are turning their backs on him. In an industry where many actors are pushing the boundaries, Mel Gibson isn't holding back, and he's making it clear why De Niro's career might be coming to an end. Stay tuned to hear exactly how this feud could be the nail in the coffin for De Niro's career. If you're a fan of Lethal Weapon or have followed Mel Gibson's career, you'll appreciate the recent move he made that's adding to his already bold persona. Gibson recently took the opportunity to call out Robert De Niro, a long-time Hollywood icon, and he did so in a way that has garnered a lot of attention. Over the years, many actors, including De Niro, have become infamous for using their platforms to voice political opinions. While it's not uncommon for public figures to share their views, it seems that for some, particularly De Niro, these constant political rants have started to negatively affect their careers. The industry has seen its fair share of backlashes from actors who've become too outspoken about their beliefs, often alienating fans and fellow professionals alike. And at one point last year, industry officials announced a mandate that all players be informed about their beliefs, often alienating fans and fellow professionals alike. It's no secret that the more vocal some stars became about their political stances, the more they saw their careers stumble. De Niro, for instance, has faced considerable fallout after going on several controversial rants. On the other hand, there are actors like Mel Gibson, Sylvester Stallone, and James Woods who have pushed back against this trend, criticizing the political engagement that, in their view, harms the entertainment industry. Gibson, in particular, has been one of the loudest voices calling out his peers for straying too far from their craft into the realm of politics. In contrast to De Niro, Gibson has maintained a focus on his work, avoiding the sort of inflammatory public rants that have caused others to lose favor with the public. Interestingly, Gibson's latest move involves directly calling out De Niro. This isn't a vague critique. Gibson has been very clear that he believes De Niro's political outbursts are a major reason behind his career's decline. The entire situation has cast De Niro in a new light, with Mel Gibson exposing him in a way that underscores the negative impact of such behavior. Not only is this a personal critique, but it speaks to a larger issue in the industry, where actors are often expected to represent more than just themselves, but also the studios and audiences they serve. In an era where Hollywood faces growing pushback due to the increasing politicization of entertainment, Gibson's stance directly challenges the rising trend of activism among actors. The Hollywood landscape has shifted, and Mel Gibson's outspoken approach stands in stark contrast to the way De Niro has conducted himself, highlighting how much the balance between celebrity and ideology has changed in recent years. This tension between the two actors exemplifies a broader issue in the film industry that could reshape how actors approach their careers moving forward. This is a compelling moment for Hollywood, one that shows the power of public perception and the influence of political engagement on a star's longevity in the business. Now more than ever, it's clear that the path an actor chooses, whether to stay focused on their craft or to make politics a defining element of their public persona, can have serious consequences. Mel Gibson has always been known for speaking his mind, but his recent comments about Robert De Niro have been particularly eye-opening. Gibson, who rarely calls out other actors, made it clear that sometimes you have to take a stand and speak up when you see a growing problem in the industry. His main point of frustration? Actors who get so deeply involved in politics that they forget their primary role, representing the film industry and entertaining the public. In his words, Gibson pointed directly to Robert De Niro, calling him out for what he described as lunacy and a disrespectful approach to the country and its people. Gibson expressed disbelief that studios continue to let De Niro get away with his controversial statements, especially considering how damaging they've been to his career. According to Gibson, De Niro's political rhetoric has directly caused him to lose fans and alienate his core audience. Gibson also made it clear that while he has his own political views, he doesn't impose them on others. He doesn't get angry or aggressive when someone disagrees with him. Instead, he stands firm in his beliefs and lets people make their own decisions. This contrasts sharply with De Niro, who has often been vocal in his divisive commentary, something that Gibson feels has hurt his career in a major way. Adding a personal touch to his criticism, Gibson revealed that he had nearly worked with De Niro on the film Edge of Darkness but was blocked by studio politics and creative differences. This only deepened his frustration with the actor. Gibson explained that the way De Niro spoke and what he said made him uncomfortable, to the point where he couldn't understand why De Niro was still allowed to behave this way. Time magazine, Gibson suggested that the reason no one really wants to work with De Niro anymore is that more and more studios are becoming aware of the backlash against outspoken stars and how it affects their marketability. Gibson went on to compare his own career path to De Niro's current trajectory. He spoke with enthusiasm about his work on Lethal Weapon 5, a project he's clearly passionate about, while implying that De Niro's upcoming work, particularly in the film The Alter Knights, lacks the same spark. He noted that De Niro's recent performances just don't have the same energy, as though the actor's focus had shifted from acting to politics. Gibson firmly believes that when actors devote so much of their energy to their personal beliefs rather than their craft, it's bound to affect their performance. Acting for Gibson is all about dedicating 100% of your attention to the role, and he feels that De Niro is no longer doing that. Instead, De Niro has become more known for his public outbursts and insults, including name-calling and targeting different crowds during his political tirades. Before wrapping up, Gibson made one final remark about De Niro's controversial behavior, specifically referring to his rants in front of courts. De Niro's past outbursts, calling out the American people in the most extreme ways, are a prime example of how deeply his political agenda has seeped into his public image. For Gibson, this behavior is a prime reason why the actor's career is faltering. It's a stark warning to other actors about the fine line between standing up for your beliefs and alienating your audience. Robert De Niro's upcoming film, The Alter Knights, is set to be his final project with Warner Brothers, marking a significant moment in his career. The film, slated for release in March, features De Niro playing dual roles as mobsters, but early reactions to the trailer have raised some eyebrows. Mel Gibson himself commented on the trailer, agreeing that De Niro's performance seemed off. While it's just a trailer and some viewers might disagree, both Gibson and others have expressed concerns about the actor's ability to deliver the kind of performance fans expect from him. Beyond the trailer, the situation is much larger than just one film. Mel Gibson, in his outspoken criticism of De Niro, pointed out how the actor's increasingly vocal political stance has seriously impacted his career. Gibson believes that by publicly aligning himself with certain political agendas, De Niro has caused harm to the studios that have supported him for decades. The truth, as Gibson explains, is that actors don't just represent themselves. They represent the studios, distributors, and companies that hire them. When an actor uses their platform to push controversial ideologies, they risk alienating audiences and damaging the brands they work for. This is exactly what happened with De Niro. Gibson argued that by voicing divisive opinions, De Niro has unwittingly pushed away viewers who might have once been loyal to him. As a result, studios like Warner Brothers, who once had De Niro on their roster, have lost customers and audience support. Gibson's frustration with De Niro's behavior is clear, especially when it comes to the impact of his actions on the studios he's worked with over the years. In contrast, Gibson made it clear that he is focused on doing his job as an actor while remaining grounded in his values, particularly with his new role as an ambassador for California and Hollywood. His message is clear. He plans to represent his state and the industry to the best of his ability without forcing political opinions onto the public. This highlights the difference in approach between him and De Niro. While Gibson is more focused on his craft and positive contributions, De Niro's political rhetoric has overshadowed his work and alienated both fans and studios. Gibson also hinted that De Niro's reputation might be nearly impossible to recover. Over the years, actors like James Woods have also criticized De Niro's public persona, and it's clear that the backlash from his political views and increasingly erratic behavior has taken a significant toll. For De Niro, it will take significant work to regain the trust of the public and the industry if he hopes to continue having a successful career. The harsh reality, it's becoming increasingly unlikely that Robert De Niro will get back on track. At this point in his career, it may be time for him to retire and step out of the limelight. His recent choices, both in terms of his political activism and the roles he's been taking on, suggest that he's more focused on fame and fortune than the craft of acting. As Mel Gibson pointed out, when you lose the passion for your work, it shows. And for De Niro, that's exactly what's happening. On the flip side, Mel Gibson's dedication to Lethal Weapon 5 speaks volumes. Despite the disappointments of Lethal Weapon 3 and 4, Gibson is clearly passionate about bringing the franchise to a satisfying conclusion. His involvement in the creative process shows his dedication to the project and to the fans who've stuck by him throughout the years. De Niro's career trajectory, in stark contrast, appears to be driven more by a desire for easy fame than the desire to produce quality work. His roles now seem to lack the authenticity and grit that once defined his career, and that's why fans are turning away. Even in his latest project, The Alto Knights, his performance feels out of place and disconnected from the tough, raw energy that made him a household name. As much as it might pain some fans to admit, Robert De Niro's time in Hollywood might be over. There's a clear shift happening in the industry, and it's time for the next generation of passionate actors to rise. What do you think, though? Is Robert De Niro past his prime, or do you believe he still has the chops to redeem himself? Will Lethal Weapon 5 be the final nail in the coffin for these older stars? Or does Mel Gibson's passion for his craft prove that there's still hope for actors who care deeply about their work? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinions. And if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to show your support. Subscribe for more in-depth discussions and hot takes on the latest in Hollywood. Until next time, I'll catch you later.